Yeah, subscribe. I'm 42 years old. If you're of similar age, raise your hand if you remember Cindy Crawford. I recently listened to a podcast from some time ago, 2016, where Mark Maron on the WTF podcast interviewed Cindy Crawford. And I thought to myself, one interesting examination of cultural zeitgeist, of beauty over the years, the way we look at beautiful women that find a high level of success in media, be it modeling, acting, music. Cindy Crawford had a career that started in her teenage years in Chicago. From the age of 14, 15, she was modeling in catalogs. She went on to become one of the most successful supermodels of all time. She was briefly married to Richard Gere and eventually ended up and still is married to a gentleman who co-owned Casamigos Tequila with George Clooney. So, I'm assuming you can afford to pay for the good bread, the French cheese, the French wine. So she's a woman who found success and kept it. The interview is interesting.
Look the way you look, but I mean, there's a whole process to it.
I'm still learning. I'm a much better model today than I was even in my, let's say, heyday, just because I'm more confident. I know how to work in front of the camera more. I mean, there's a skill to modeling as well as just a genetic,
Sure.
that you won the lottery.
Well, yeah, it was devastating to her.
It can be. And I think one of the things that saved me, my Midwestern upbringing, but also I did not really start spending time in New York and Europe until I was 20 already. So I graduated high school. I had that in my pocket. Like I was valedictorian. I got to feel that gave me a certain amount of self-esteem.
Valedictorian. Yeah, smarty pants.
I shared it with another guy. So technically I was co-valedictorian with
but
David.
He gets cut out of the
David
story.
Olive, I know. He just didn't make the story. Then I went to Northwestern, so I had that experience of being a freshman in college.
Right.
Then I lived in Chicago on my own for a year and a half before I moved to New York. So by the time I moved to New York, I thought I was a grown-up at 20. I had more than if some of the other women that I know that started modeling and they were shipped off to Milan when they were 15.
Right.
I think they had a harder time with that being, look, there is pitfalls in any business.
Well, it just seems like there's that it's pretty brutal on maintaining your what you think is what you are. I think the eating disorder thing was a problem, and also drugs become a problem, and the fact that you're really seen as in some ways, it seems to me in some circles that you're sort of seen as playthings for rich people.
Right. Well,
You called it quits about a year ago. Final interview with Barack Obama. Decent way to go out. But the interview itself revealed that Cindy Crawford is not arrogant. Seems down to earth as much as you can be. But it is an interesting examination of somebody born with extreme beauty. There was no operations needed to make her look the way that she did. She was viewed at the time as not as thin as the other supermodels around her, and it shifted something in culture briefly. She also spoke about other models who began younger and who were shipped off to Paris or Milan and lived a very different stilled life than she did. In 2026, as anything in the 90s becomes history. It's a very interesting listen. Are women born with beauty? Lucky? And those of us who view them should consider them a prize, a blessing, a bonus in life? Or is there something hollow about it all? You decide.